All right, hello everybody. Yay, so glad to see folks hopping on. It looks like we have video enabled. Well, we'll figure that out. Hopefully you all can see me, and you should be able to raise your hand and type any comments in the chat box. All right, so I'm gonna get started slowly. It's just 10 o'clock. Happy April 4th, 2020, which is the magical combination of the numbers 444. And that's all about, today's all about transformation. Today's all about transformation, and really, this is just a little bit of a light being shown on the depths of transformation. And I hope we can all feel that, you know, for a while, I think we might have been hoping that this wave would wash over quickly and everyone would get back to normal. And I think now we can kind of come to sense that there is no need to get back to the way things were. So that's kind of the topic. So this topic of deep transformation, it really is simultaneously massive deconstruction and massive expansion. And I'm so excited actually about what came through for today's topic. I didn't really expect it, but it's perfect. We're all needing to rebalance divine masculine and feminine. So that it's worth saying that transcends what our gender is on this planet. We are each ideally half divine masculine and half divine feminine. And what's really being needed right now, the energies that are needed to bring us into a state of rebalance and higher order in some sense, is this beautiful goddess energy, the divine feminine energy. And so right out the gates, that's what I want to tell you is the main theme, but I wanted to share a couple just little nuggets before we get into the remembering the divine feminine and why that's important in this period of deep transformation. So as I mentioned at the start, you know, it's clear now that this isn't something that's going to go away, and we're not necessarily going back to normal. And instead of waiting for these times of seclusion to sort of end, because this time of seclusion, we're sensing this is a time of change. And we're being invited to get comfortable with this change, to lean in. And this is such a neat thing, because if you think about this is called IN5D, and the 3D world is all about the only thing that's real is what we can see. And so if we're attached to the 3D world and the things that we see around us are crumbling, it's going to freak a lot of people out. And then the process of change is inherently scary to the physical world because it doesn't make any sense, which really is inviting us to usher us into exploring the higher dimensions, exploring the larger nature of reality. So getting comfortable with change really just means cultivating a new relationship with it, cultivating a new way to experience and see it. So, you know, 3D it's just all about the separation. So if things are changing, inevitably it's going to be fearful because we're really attached to the physical world. 4D is comfortable with change. It's a very malleable space, light and dark. And 5D is, as I mentioned, this is where we really get to step into trusting and being one with the change, and being and knowing that this change must bring in a higher good. And this is where I think it's great to consider this rebalancing of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And it's within us all, and it's really returning to and remembering this beautiful feminine goddess energy. And so it's interesting to consider what feminine energy might have looked like back in times when divine masculine and feminine were potentially balanced. And I'm going to offer a couple different examples. But I think one of the reasons why it's so scary is because it's this internal, primordial, unknown space that the divine feminine simultaneously can handle that and knows that everything is always connected. So for what we're facing in terms of change, it's a little bit of a subversive energy, because as divine feminine power comes in, we're claiming our power and we're claiming our connection. So we're able to step into this beautiful feminine energy, and the images and the energy, it's wild, it's grounded, it's ecstatic, it's passionate, it's loving, it's strong, and it speaks truth. And so that energy is something that I think, all of us, men and women, we have a sense of it within us. And then we also get this sense that there's a lot of space for us to grow as we come to consider the divine feminine. And the case is still first within us. We have this seclusion time for a few different reasons, but gosh, I want to get to a concrete example that I hope will resonate for some people. And I was raised Catholic. So I'm going to pull from the Christian tradition for a moment, but this is universal, and I think it relates to all ancient esoteric wisdom traditions, but I think this is such a cool example. So, within the Western Christian world, and it's neat because I think we're in Lent right now. It's somewhere near before Easter. We have Jesus as the man the Son of God, and he is the embodiment of divine masculine. And so he's been really put in the high place, and his divine feminine counterpart is Mary Magdalene. And Mary Magdalene has pretty much been pushed down and turned into, a prostitute or a whore. And even if you look at the images, I was trying to find an image of Mary Magdalene to share with you guys right now, and I didn't find any that were really complimentary. But if we consider that every male has a female counterpart energetically, and if what they were doing back at the time of the crucifixion was demonstrating every human being's, Jesus said, as greater things than I do, you will do. He was showing us our divinity, and she was his divine counterpart. So we can kind of get a sense of how this has been sort of stuffed down by the way that her stories have been erased. But there's one story that there's two things I remember about her from the Bible whenever you read it when you're in Catholic school. There's a story of her. It's like right before he's going to be crucified, and they both knew that he was going to die soon, and he was having dinner with a bunch of wealthy people it was men only, and it was all sequestered off, and she felt like she knew that the time was coming, so she broke through. She kind of just decided that she broke the rules because she needed to see her beloved. So it points us to this deep truth, this passion, the real truths. And she sort of busted into this dinner meeting, and she was weeping, and she opened up this alabaster jar full of it was frankincense or something, I forget, but it was like a very expensive perfume. And she did something that everyone in the room, besides her and her beloved, Jesus, thought was completely crazy. She wasted this really expensive ointment by anointing his feet. And what she was doing was blessing him and preparing him. And she didn't care about what the rules were. She was doing what she knew she needed to do. And I think that that type of power, I hope that you can sense. It's less about the story itself. It's more about the energy of what she was doing, where she knew that she needed to take an equal role. And there's another, the only other time I remember her being mentioned in the Bible sort of neutrally, was after he had been put in a tomb and he was resurrected. He'd been resurrected. She was the first person to go look for him. And then she saw that he wasn't there. And so she thinks she sees this groundskeeper or gardener, and she's harassing, she's yelling at the gardener, take me to him. What'd you do with him? Like, she was really pissed off, and she wanted to see her beloved. And she didn't realize that was actually a version of Jesus himself. But it kind of shows this passion, this primordial, and it can be scary because it's not supposed to be contained. So when we look at even the idea of the Blessed Mother, who is a very powerful figure, she herself is also somewhat contained if you think about the way that she's presented to us. And there's many different goddesses, but when the divine feminine energy started coming through for me, it's this fearless, this powerful, this speak and embody the truth type of energy. And I hope that we can all sense and feel how needed that is on our planet right now. And the thing about this is, which is so cool, so in 5D, these beings exist in the fifth dimension, and they're inviting us there now. They're inviting us to, as we're sheltering at home, it's the best time ever to start to step into this invitation to step into this sacred field where they live, and really to come to cultivate a relationship with them. And there's all sorts of divine feminine archetypes out there. Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion, comes to mind. Falun Lamo, I did a podcast on her, the goddess who's the protector of the children of the light in Tibet, who's, again, she's pictured as this crazy, hair, everything, everywhere, powerful goddess, but her power is in that sort of wildness, that it feels to us wild because we're used to a very linear way of looking at and being in the world. So what I think we'll do first or next or second or whatever number it is, I want to guide us through a little bit of a meditation, and I want to see if I can share with you. And you might also, while I'm finding this photo image, if I can, tune into, we've all had many interactions with a feminine goddess or someone who embodies the divine feminine. It does not need to be within the Christian tradition at all. As I mentioned, there's, Hindu goddesses, Durga, there's Falun Lamo in Tibet, there's Kuan Yin, there's many different there's many different embodiments of this energy. So while I'm looking for this, and hopefully I can find it, here we go. Okay, I think I just shared this with you. I hope you can see this. So this is a picture of the goddess Kuan Yin. Let's see if it pixelates out. Yeah, okay. So right now, as we're considering that these avatars, this energy, this divine feminine energy is available to us always. And one of the things we're being called to do is to remember that and to recultivate a relationship with it so that we can exist in the physical third dimensional world, but also know that this energy, these beings are available to us. They exist in this realm. So let's just begin by taking let's take 3 breaths. Maybe just let your eyes fall, or close your eyes, or if you want to just connect with this image or any other image of a divine feminine goddess archetype energy. So breathe in through your nose and release through your mouth. Breathe in through the nose And release through the mouth. One more time, just super easy, gentle breath, just coming present. And now imagine that you're somewhere in a natural environment that feels safe to you. Maybe it's in a meadow or a forest glen or somewhere with a stream, but you're just somewhere where it feels very safe and clear and clean and natural, and you're sitting on the ground, and this goddess appears before you, and you might notice what she's wearing, if she's got a cloak on or some sort of other flowing garments, and you can feel her light as she appears before you, and she comes down to sit right next to you in this gesture of this oneness. She's sort of putting herself right there with you. And she might reach out one of her hands and touch your chest or wrap her arm around you. You might just feel her light. See if you can feel it in your heart. See if you can feel it in your third eye. And as this energy comes, first, it's coming to you right now to invite you to share with her anything that's of concern for you, anything that's up that you just want to share with her. So spend a little bit of time, just a minute or so, in your own heart, in your own internal dialogue, just communing with her. It might be words, it might be energy. We're all likely going through different waves of flux and shift. So if you feel joyful for the change you can see coming, share that with her. If you feel like there's a couple bumps in the road that are pushing your buttons, maybe you share that with her. But let her just receive you and hold you. Just a little bit more time here. And now see if you can feel this sense of power and peace and love, and that she's able to hold you and receive whatever you're ready to give her to unload, and also to really instantly show you that there's a lighter, brighter version already available, that she's always here with you, always supporting you. Now you might take a moment just to allow her to energetically speak to you. And it will likely, for me, it's coming in the form of light, where this light is sort of infusing and merging in a very motherly, communal way, just wrapping itself all through you, reminding you that this was always here for you, that you are this, and that this will always be here for you. And what I'm getting is that one of the things that task is the wrong word, but one of the things that we're invited to entertain right now is this cultivation of this relationship with the goddess. Now I want to share with you, as we're communing with the goddess, I want to share with you a little bit of a channel from Linda Lee. This is channeled over a year and a half ago. And it came through from the energies of Kuan Yin. And I think it's so wonderful. She's channeling Kuan Yin, and she's a year and a half ago said that we have requested all the souls in America to be ready, particularly the souls who have carried divine mission. Some may be moving, others may stay put. The ones who move, there will likely be a large number, because that is what the land of America needs. It needs cleansing. And some areas really need a lot of work. So once the clearing process is done, new residents will be established. That is what is to come. Moving the population of America is needed. Besides America, which is the first to be clearing, we have also started to work in Europe, particularly the part where the energies are dense. The UK is one of the countries which is under supervision. Besides the UK, we'll also move energies quickly through the entire continent. So if you live in Europe, dear one, know that the next big changes will be there. Europeans tend to be the pioneers in human history this time around, and again, time for that part of the world to change. Big changes are coming. Get ready, dear ones. Besides these changes, we also want you, dear light workers, to focus on the ascension. The ascension energies have been intense. The numbers of awakening souls continues to grow larger and larger. It is time for big waves as you have never seen before. One effect of this powerful energy will be physical symptoms. Be gentle with your precious body and try to relax and know that even though the energy is becoming more and more intense, so is your capacity for handling these energies. Know that all is coming in order so that your physical body is prepared and ready to receive it. There are no accidents. All will happen in sequence and all is well. You have to rest and let the body adjust. Know that you are supremely protected and loved. You are guided every step of the way. Have faith and know that your ascension is going on. I love you, dear one. I am Kuan Yin. Gosh, so I just wanted to share that because that's such it's interesting to note that the goddess is able to hold the chaos and hold our hearts and hold our community. So as we prepare to sort of part ways with whatever goddess you've called up, whether it was Kuan Yin or Mother Mary or any other goddess, thank her. And see if you can send a message to her that you want to deepen your relationship, that you want to explore being able to allow her energies to be in you as you're in your physical body, in your third dimensional world. So just connecting from your heart to her, some gestures of gratitude. So, as we prepare to come back, I invite you to first just take a nice deep breath and notice there's this sense of peace and power and this deep inner knowing that I have the sense that each and every one of us gets on some level beyond words, that we're being activated and that all is going to be well, and that we are going to be called to step into our power to speak truth, to embody truth, to be brave and strong and loving. And I just love that the goddess is already there. She's already wanting to visit with us in the fifth dimension, in that she knows that we're all connected. She embodies that, and she's inviting us to call on her as we're in our physical lives, to be able to pull in these energies of wellness and oneness. So one more thing that that came through as we kind of settle back into our physical bodies. I mentioned that, the physical world just naturally fears change because it fears what it can't see, and it just sees that the physical world is shifting. The other metaphor that I love is this idea of, when we're going through times of change, we step from one stone to the next, and there's that point where, especially in the third dimensional world, where we don't know where that stone is and if our foot's going to hit and if we're going to land. And there's this way that I think we've been accustomed to, this idea of bravery in the third dimension is kind of like, well, just, close your eyes and go for it and hope for the best. It's like this tensing, fearing energy. And I think many of us have had experiences like that. And what the goddess is inviting us to do is to shift that as well, to shift our beliefs around change, to know that we don't have to hold our breath, to really consider. And the image that came through was so cool. It was, instead of wondering and trusting and just, running through it or, being tense and being fearful, we're being invited to, instead of holding our breath and closing our eyes and jumping, to consider that we have wings, to consider that we're not just shifting and jumping and trying to clasp on to the next thing for security, but if we consider that we have wings, then we know that we're safe, that there is no falling, there is no lack of solid ground. And I just love this because it's totally a different energy, clenching in fear and getting through it, which is, I think, what we're still kind of, what's up for transformation right now. Are we going to get through it, and realizing there's this sense of ease that we get to cultivate as we move through change. So I invite you to consider that you have wings in this situation. And as counterintuitive as that might feel, I hope that it also feels very natural. Like, oh yeah, I do. I can lift myself up over this and out of this, and I can find my next landing place. And there's this sense of, again, all is well. So there's one more practice that I want to share with us. And it's in the realm of embodying the divine feminine and bringing that back into balance. It's also just in the realm of seeding our future. And as we consider that, even in times of change right now, the choices we make about what we're doing are just super important. So I want to guide us next through a 444, since this is April 4th, 2020, gratitude meditation. So I don't have an image that I prepared. I'll probably put one up when I re-edit the video. So if you want to close your eyes, you can. I invite you to consider that on this 444 activation day, that you're sitting inside of a square, a four-sided geometric shape. And this square, as it raises up out of the ground, it's actually a pyramid. So you can imagine a four-sided pyramid that you're more or less right now just seated within. And pyramids have been used by many ancient cultures to help us access higher dimensions and higher levels of consciousness, and to help us seed in new light. So as you're in this pyramid, let's first ground down into earth. So send an energetic cord down through the soil beneath you. Send it down into the center of our Mother Earth, and just connect with her so that you can stay in your physical body. You might even pull light up from the Earth's core up into your body. And then open up at the top of your head, open up to the heavens and allow this pyramid to sort of call in all the light that you're ready for. As that Kuan Yin channel mentioned, where I think of it as we're getting acclimated, as if you're climbing Mount Everest. We're getting acclimated to higher energy. So just as much as we're ready for, call in more light, call it down through the crown of your head, bring it into your body. And this next part is your choice, but I invite you to consider yourself, to open yourself, your main energy channel that runs right along your spine, to open yourself as a channel for seeding light into our world. And I want to invite you to know that you are safe in this process. The beautiful thing about allowing ourselves to be channels is the karma of that is immediate. Everything we offer to bring through, we immediately receive for ourselves. And this pyramid is going to give us each just as much as we're able. So just calling in light from the heavens and calling up light from Mother Earth. Because Mother Earth has agreed to this process. She wants this change. And then just connecting to your heart. And let your breath just get a little slower and a little deeper. We're not going to try to count the breath, but just connect to your heart and let your breath become a little bit more easy. And now first, find something that you're grateful for. And in these times, there are likely things that just the simple things come to mind. Just notice the first thing that comes to mind that you're grateful for and bring it into your heart center. Notice see if you can feel the gratitude for this thing, this person, whatever aspect of your life, whatever is really good. And feel your heart expand as you spend time just cultivating gratitude for this thing in your life right now. And we're going to do this 4 times. So now next, notice what the second thing is that you're just very grateful for right now. It can be your family, it can be your health, it can be food on the table, a bright future, and just feel the gratitude for that thing as we take time right now to feel gratitude. This is our conscious choice of how we want to feel, how we want to be. And we're telling the universe more, yes, please. So just feel your heart continue to expand. And then notice the next thing that comes to mind that you're just very grateful for as you listen to this, as you participate in this gratitude meditation, and let it bring it into your heart and let it expand. Feel the light of your heart growing bigger and bigger, maybe as big as your field, as big as your aura. And then just one more time, notice the last thing that comes to mind right now that as you listen, you're just simply so grateful for. Call it into your heart. Feel that gratitude, feel that light of your heart continue to expand, maybe as big as this pyramid that you're sitting within. And so now simply, as big as you feel the light of your heart and your field, connect to this idea, if you're comfortable, that you are also a conduit of energy, of healing light and energy, and everything that you're seeding, SEED, as in planting seeds. You're seeding these new energies by making this conscious choice to exist in gratitude for what's present and to feel it. So you're seeding it into the future. And it's as if this light, this energy from spirit is coming down through your energetic channel and spreading out through the earth. And the earth is just There's these energetic roots and lines and veins that are spreading throughout the planet, enveloping her with light. And there might even be these little tiny seeds that are going into her soil. So just a little bit more time here, feeling that energy and maybe even feeling grateful for your ability to do this, to play this role in seeding and cultivating and calling in a bright future. And so still in this meditative space, just consider, we're going to slowly start to come back, but your eyes might still be closed. Consider that as we're in this time where we have a lot of time on our hands, we're being invited to step into a living meditation. So this is, again, there's a goddess aspect here. We're being invited to simultaneously exist in this oneness, this field of energy, and to pull it into 3D, to pull it into our physical world. So set the intention as you prepare to come back, just to see if every time in this next week you find the inclination to feel grateful for something, you can remember this feeling, you can stop and you can find your heart center. You can activate a pyramid and do the full opening to spirit and earth, or you can just find your heart center and feel the gratitude. And knowing that this feeling is telling spirit, source, the universe, this is what you want to create more of. More healthy family, more community, more clean water, more fresh air. And so as we continue to vibrate, just a little bit more time, this deep gratitude, we can know that we can be grateful in a larger sense, that as we're choosing gratitude, this is going to mean abundance on all levels. For everyone, more love. For everyone, more joy. For everyone, more prosperity. For everyone, more connection. For everyone, more health, more well-being, more vitality. This gratitude is expansive. All right, so then just slowly pulling your aura, pulling your energetic field back to wherever you feel it comfortable. You might have noticed it's expanded naturally. Thanking Mother Earth, thanking Spirit, allowing the pyramid, when you're ready to fall away, the pyramid was really to anchor the energies down and to pull the right energies in for each of us. But I just invite us to consider this twofold similar message, that this time of sequestering, this time of quiet is perfect. It's needed. It's divinely aligned. And we have important tasks at hand to remember the embodiment of the divine feminine, to seek that connection, to call it in, to cultivate the relationship with those avatars, those beings. We have that time, and hopefully we feel the importance of that call. And also to find those things that already exist in this beautiful world that we live in, that we're grateful for, and know that as we choose to stop in our day, connect to our heart, and as we choose to feel more gratitude, that is the highest act of service that we're being called into right now. So, thank you guys. I'm personally so honored and grateful to everybody who's joined today. I don't know if anybody has any comments or anything they'd like to share. Now would be the time if you do want to share. You can say something if you're just sort of resting in the energies. That's also great. Oh, Katie says, thank you. You are very welcome. Thank you guys. It's a neat practice, I think, for us to to be able to have something constructive to look forward to doing, and to know that we're right on course, we're right where we need to be, and that there's these new ways that are already showing up, things that we can do to support the world that we want. Sachi says, thank you. Today feels very intense. Rasa says, thank you. Yes, today does feel very intense. Group meditation helps me. Yes, it helps us all. So today is an intense day, and it's so, Spirit aligns this for us. We're gathering every Saturday at 10 a.m. and it just so happens that this particular Saturday is this once in every 13 years alignment of Pluto, a conjunction of Pluto and Jupiter. And so it's just potential. We can feel the potential for massive expansion. We can feel death and rebirth. We can feel transformation. So I'll see what comes through. If there's anything else important, I'll put it in the notes. And in the recording, I'm likely going to find another couple pictures of goddesses, of women who embodied this beautiful, wild, powerful, fearless, in a good way, truth-speaking, seeking energy. You guys are so amazing. Sachi says, beautiful. Yes, it is beautiful. Gwen says, thank you. This really helped me have clarity. Love to everyone from South Africa. Oh, yay. We are a global community. All right, guys. Well, if there's no more comments, I'm going to slowly just start to bring this to a close. Oh, I wanted to just make sure you guys know, I got the message. I know I said last week that, this might be the last week. That very clearly, this is going to keep going for as long as we're being called to stay inside. This just feels like such the right thing for us to be doing. So I look forward to seeing you all here again next Saturday. And I will edit this recording and have it up for everybody on YouTube. All right. Bright blessings, much love, and cheers to divine masculine, divine feminine, rebalancing, and a bright, beautiful future. All right. Bye, guys.